What is up, guys? So Sports back again with another video, and in today's video I have 10 players who I believe will be traded this season. The first player I want to discuss is Kris Dunn. Kris Dunn was the 5th overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kris Dunn had a pretty bad rookie year due to injuries and playing inconsistent minutes, and was thus traded to the Chicago Bulls alongside Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler. In Chicago, though his production did increase, we saw injuries and his lack of shooting really take a toll on his game, and he just never really reached his full potential. And now with the Bulls drafting Coby White and signing Tomas Satoransky, you just have to believe that he'll be traded this season. The next player I'm going to discuss is Danilo Gallinari. Danilo Gallinari was acquired by the Thunder in the Paul George trade and has been placed on the trade block essentially. With the Thunder now rebuilding and with Danilo in the last year of his contract, it is kind of obvious that the Thunder would look to trade him at the trade deadline. Andre Iguodala was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies for cap relief, and it's obvious that he isn't in their future plans. Even at 35, Iggy is still a great 3-and-D player and someone who still has a lot left to provide. I expect Andre Iguodala to be traded to a contender very soon. Dennis Schroeder is the next person I want to talk about. Last year for the Thunder, I think we can all say that he didn't have a really good season. He shot poorly from the field and was kind of a bad defender. And with the Thunder trading for Chris Paul and SGA, which is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, there are little minutes for another point guard on the roster, and Schroeder just looks to be the odd man out. The next player I want to discuss is Andre Drummond. With the Pistons kind of in mediocrity right now and not really have a future, I expect him to be traded. For one, his contract ends at the end of this year, assuming that he does decline his player option, which more than likely he will. And I don't know, I just don't believe the Pistons will want to pay a guy of Andre Drummond's skill set tons of money, 30 plus mil, so it would just make sense for them to trade him at the trade deadline to a contender to then get something out of him and, just jumpstart the rebuild. With Andre Drummond, I feel like it's appropriate to also include Blake Griffin in this category. If Andre Drummond is traded, I just think that signals the end for Blake Griffin in Detroit also. Just looking at Blake Griffin, last year had, not by far, but arguably his best season of his career. Though he did have a torn meniscus to end the year that halted him, and he only played 2 games in the playoffs. Didn't really help at all. They still ended up getting swept, but I just think it's time for a full rebrand, and a full rebuild in Detroit. And yeah, like I said earlier, with Andre Drummond, I believe being traded, I believe Blake Griffin will be up next very soon. Kevin Love was acquired by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the summer of 2014 in exchange for Andrew Wiggins. And they'll say he was a very big part, a very, very, very big part of the Cavs' success. In his prime years in Cleveland, he averaged just about 20 and 10 and won a championship with them alongside LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. But with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James now gone, and with Kevin Love just signing an extension that doesn't end, I believe, until he's 34, it probably signals the end of him. Looking at what the Cavs are doing now and how they are rebuilding, Kevin Love just isn't in their future plans. Now, I for one believe it would be smart for the Cavs to keep Kevin Love for at least half a season so that he can help Darius Garland and Colin Sexton and take the offensive load off of them. But if a trade package comes up, I think they have to take it. And I feel like it's Kevin Love. Kevin Love is a player since he's gotten to Cleveland, hasn't had any problems, no off the court issues. He's been very nice player. There's never been any problems with him, so I feel like Cleveland kind of owes it to him to trade him to a contender so that he can continue to find success. The next player I want to discuss is Kyle Lowry. Now, this one is kind of interesting, in my opinion, but it's a trade that I definitely could see happening. With Kyle Lowry being 33, I believe, currently, and with his contract coming up at the end of the season, you would just have to think that the Toronto Raptors, if they're out of the playoff hunt, will look to trade Kyle Lowry. The Toronto Raptors and Masai Ujiri are a team who has been known for being very aggressive. We just saw last season when they traded for Kawhi Leonard and giving up arguably their greatest player in franchise history in DeMar DeRozan. Now, I'm not saying that this trade would be done, but I'm just saying I would not be surprised to see Kyle Lowry gone from the Toronto Raptors by mid-season. Andrew Wiggins is another interesting one because over his last few seasons, he has been mediocre. Everybody is slandering him. People don't believe in him anymore. Coming into his 3rd season, he was looking amazing, and he's just fallen off from that. Now you can blame that on Coach Thibs not being able to develop him, or you can blame that on Jimmy Butler stunning his growth, but overall, he should have taken at least a jump with the comparisons that he had coming out of college. Now with Flip Saunders' son, may he rest in peace, now at the helm at the head coach position, you would have to hope that he can hopefully do something with Andrew Wiggins, make him better, but if he doesn't, I believe Andrew Wiggins is as good as gone by the end of next season. The last player I'm going to discuss in this video is Bradley Beal. Now, Bradley Beal recently declined a 3-year max extension from the Washington Wizards, and it kind of shows that he wants to see what's going on with the team. It shows that he wants to ride out at least until the trade deadline this season to see the team's path. If they are potentially contending, I believe that he will look to stay, but if they're far out of the playoff hunt, I believe he will request a trade, and I believe that's a request that the Wizards should accept and go forth with. It would just make sense. He is your biggest asset currently, and you can get a lot for him. You could definitely get a lot for him, considering the fact that he's a guy who gives you 25, 5, and 5, and a guy who's very durable and will play all 82 games. Bradley Beal has spent all of his career with Washington, but I think that comes to an end this season. And thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and sub and share with your friends, but it's So Sports, and I'm out. Peace.